I'm Kim Kraus from the Scriber Media Center, and today I'm standing outside the pulp mill in Terrace Bay, where they've just announced the temporary idling of its operations. We received a press release that goes as follows. AV Terrace Bay Incorporated announces temporary idling of its pulp operations with immediate effect due to prevailing market conditions. The announcement will affect approximately 400 employees. The facility, located on the north shore of Lake Superior, produces 320,000 air-dry metric tons of northern bleached softwood kraft pulp. The mill will be put into a state of warm idle to facilitate a possible future restart. There's no mention in the press release of the mill restarting, or if it will restart at all. So we're going to be going down to the town hall in Terrace Bay, where council is currently getting ready to have a meeting to discuss the situation.
Afternoon, everyone. I've reached the hour of 3 o'clock on Monday, January 8th. I call this meeting the Council of Township of Terrace Bay to order. First item, approval of the agenda. Motion moved by Councillor St. Louis, seconded by Councillor Johnson. Resolved that the Monday, January 8th, 2024 agenda be approved as presented. All in favor? Carried. Declaration. The Council of the Township of Terrace Bay hereby acknowledges that we are in the Robinson Superior Treaty Territory and that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabeg and the Métis. Are there any disclosures of interest? Hearing none. Other business and resolutions we're here today to talk about the shutdown of the mill. So anyways, I'll just give everyone an update, I guess, on where we are right now and what we have done, and that actually we can talk about anything else that we might have missed. Myself and John have been in contact with Lise Ujoa, and she is in the process of talking to getting a what do you call it, John? Action center set up. She's been talking about that. We have a meeting with Patty Hydu on Thursday. She hasn't got back to me yet, but that's when it's scheduled for a Zoom meeting. Myself and John have been in contact with the provincial government. I've talked to Graydon Smith, the Minister of Natural Resources, and he's setting up something for when we're down at Roma. I'm not sure the exact date of that yet, as he hasn't come back to us with the exact date. The other one we're looking at is Pacini, immigration and employment. And there's nothing else yet from the provincial government, John?
No, so just they'll get back in touch with us to set up a meeting time for the Roma conference when we get down there.
Okay. The other one we got in touch with was Mike Laguerre, that's his name. He's the communications manager, I guess, for AV, and we've asked him to keep us updated on anything that's happened with the mill. So far, we haven't heard anything, right? We've talked to Dennis the other day, and since then, he hasn't said anything else to us. John pulled up a report, I guess, that was done in 2009, the impact of shutting the mill down. And there's a direct and indirect impact of, I think, about 1,800 jobs. I don't have the exact number as far as dollar-wise and stuff like that, as far as EI, taxes and stuff like that. And the last couple of days I've been in contact, or a couple of companies have contacted me about helping us out here. And I'm sure that doesn't come without a cost. So, and I know, Rick, your email there, maybe you can talk about that, Rick. Your email you sent there today about.
Yeah, I guess myself, Gino was at the table when that happened too, interviewing me too, but when the mill went down under Buchanan Group with that was the big 18-month layoff. And at the time we were trying to get the province to loan them money to get going. Well, we formed a committee. There was the Township of Terrace Bay, Buchanan group, I believe Scriber Township had 1 or 2 people on it. And then, I think Ian Frigo was their lead counsel then, and I can't remember. They did a really, really big in-depth study on drilling down just on the financial impact of this mill not running.
Yeah.
Not just for the town of Terrace Bay and Scriber, but for the whole North Shore, city of Thunder Bay. The economic numbers that I can't remember them all offhand, so I don't really want to start spitting numbers out, but it was huge. And even the province, I believe, Gino, correct me if I'm wrong, was it like $5 billion to
It
the
was a couple of
province?
$1 billion represented to the province.
Just to their coffers, like it's huge. And then we were talking,
Footprint was huge.
yeah, 2009, no, 2010 or 2012 numbers then, I'm sorry. So, though, if you took that same report, which I don't remember the name of it,
Yeah.
I don't know if we could even find it again, but I'd sure like to try. If we could somehow update those numbers to show the picture of just what this place going down is gonna do, not just locally, but provincially. It's huge.
Rick, if I may, the numbers that we played with were government numbers, and Michael Gravel's the one who came
Yeah.
up with the multipliers and on what this mill represented to the whole region and the province.
Yeah, they couldn't dispute the numbers because we used their formulas
Yeah.
at the time.
And you have a copy.
If you do, that'd be awesome, because I don't know where to look for it. And most of the players, as far as putting that together, were Buchanan Group, not guys there, right? So I don't even know who's in the picture there or whether they would have even kept that report. But it was drilled down really deep, the numbers were very detailed. Really handy to have.
Bert, do you have anything to add? On what we might be missing here? I know like John gave us that document the other day. Like I say, I've covered most of what, the last shutdowns, we've probably gone through the same thing with our local MPs, MPPs and stuff like that. And like John said, until we actually maybe meet with Minister Smith in Toronto in less than 2 weeks, we'll probably have a better idea, because my conversation with him was they'll do everything they can to get the mill up and running, whether it be with AV or a new buyer. And when I talked to Dennis Fessenden, that is still on the table. So I know there's been one company looking. I'm not sure how far that's gonna go, but
It just surprised me that it would take the ministry, 2 weeks before they meet with you. I thought it would be, a lot sooner than that.
well, we'll be there in person, John.
Yeah, yes.
And like I said, Louise has been in contact with Minister Smith. She's been in contact with Pacini too. So she's kind of doing a lot of work behind the scenes for us, And
Right.
I've also talked to Mayor Mullins and Scriber too, because this does affect them too. So
Yeah, just scary when others are looking to hire our people, in a shortage of workforce all over the place, that, how many of our workers are going to be gone before.
Well, I didn't realize that happened in 2009 too. So yeah, the quicker you get it up and running, yeah. But I mean, what Dennis told us was he told everyone, I guess, it's the price of pulp, because we'd shut it down. But I mean, you don't want to speculate or anything like that.
No, exactly.
And I'm not even sure what the price of pulp is now. I hear $1,200 a ton. Last time I looked anyway, so. Gary, you got anything to add?
Looking forward to those meetings in Toronto. Too little too late maybe, but you can't go back and change the past. It would have been nice to have these conversations before the announcement, right? Nice to get a bit of a heads up. We reached out to the mill. We did everything we could to say, hey, we want to be partners. Your employees are our citizens. So it would have been nice to, like I say, get the ball rolling on some of this. You know, had they been willing to communicate ahead of time. But again, can't change the past. So
Yeah, like you said, we contacted Dennis before this announcement
yep.
about all the rumors and blah, 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 and can you let us know what's going on? And he basically said, I'll let you know on January 2nd what's going on.
Yeah,
So,
and thinking back even just a few months ago, you know, it was a very different conversation. They were interested in investing in the community, and all of a sudden that's the opposite's true. So, yeah. But,
You guys want to give me the Reader's Digest, what I missed? Sorry, I just got off work.
yeah.
Just went over what we went through, Chris,
Okay. Just
where we are, anyone have any ideas? We've talked to Lees. We're gonna be talking to Patty on this week. Minister Smith and Pacini in Toronto on the week of Roma. John has been in contact with AV's communications director, asking him to let us know what's going on, you know, instead of keeping everyone in the dark. You know, we kind of like to know what's going on instead of hearing it on the street and stuff like that. Went over that report that John had sent out from 2009 about the impact of the mill shutting down, but there is another report out there we're going to try and get our hands on, a little more in-depth report that Buchanan put together, I guess. There's a couple of companies that have been in contact with us about helping out here, and yeah, I think that's it. John, do you want to add anything?
Just on the economic reports that we've sort of been discussing here, the one I shared was a one-pager pulled together by Sean Irwin at the time, which sounds like it actually preceded the more in-depth one you're discussing. So administration in preparation for the local conference is trying to update those numbers as best we can. It too used provincial report from 2005 to come up with the multipliers and the numbers. So we have a new forestry report from the province. It's not structured the same way, but we'll pull together what we can that shows the economic impact of the mill as best we can at this time. On the other report that Councillor St. Louis has been referring to, we'll have a look at the files. I'm sure there's reference to it somewhere, if not a copy. So we will track that down. If we have to go to the province to get it, we will do that as well. In terms of longer term, from administration side, the strat plan now will obviously include the mill shutdown. It's a significant issue impacting some of our goals, actions, and projects moving forward. The 2024 budget process is currently ongoing, as council is aware. First meeting is February 7th, if I'm not mistaken. Mill closure will likely influence some cutbacks and reductions and possible redirection of funds elsewhere, so just be aware that we are working on that behind the scenes. Beyond that, really, Roma Conference is going to be a big part of this. The minister reaching out to us, asking us to meet is something we need to prepare for. And we'll continue to reach out to mill representatives, as you alluded to, and try and get sort of a better inside track on some of the announcements being made. Nice to know, nice to be in the loop. And again, continue working with all of our MPs and MPPs from the region, assisting any way they can with anything they can. I did reach out to, you mentioned it already, but I did reach out to Minister Pacini's staff directly with respect to looking into the transition center or the action center that Domtar and the province and the union set up in Espanola in response to that mill's closure. So they are sending people to meet with us with Minister Smith at the same time, but it sounds like MPP Bourgeois is actually maybe a bit further ahead on that. Again, as the provinces involved, so she might be able to get further than we can, but we'll keep popping outdoors.
Okay. Any other questions around the table there?
No, just a comment that this is totally different for us from the last time in that we had a partner last time that was very open with us. Buchanan Group they were right in there with us when we were trying to get. These guys are being very tight-lipped about everything. They don't tell us anything except what they want us to know, which so far has been very little.
Well, I talked to John, we'll reach out to Dennis again.
Yeah. You know, sometimes I wonder, do we need to go over everybody's head and go right to somebody higher up? And the question is, who do we approach, or is it a wise move? It might be, because we're certainly not getting answers on a local level from them.
see what Dennis has to say. If he doesn't give us an answer, then we can do that.
All we can do is say no or don't take the calls.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever the agenda is, it is not much, what we can do our end, work on our end, and hope for the best. But honestly, I don't know where they are, and these guys just want us to go listen, they haven't told us, we'll have to wait and see.
Okay, we have a motion moved by Councillor Johnson, seconded by Councillor St. Louis, resolved that the next regular council meeting be held on Monday, January 15th, 2024.
Just a point on the next meeting, do you want this on the agenda moving forward as a topic
Sure.
to discuss? I'm sure there's gonna be information coming in
Yeah.
over time.
Yeah.
So, and obviously, following the normal conference, we should have some better information to share as well too.
Okay, all in favor? That motion carried. And the resolve moved by Councillor St. Louis, seconded by Councillor Johnson, resolved that we now adjourn at
There's no question
15,
period?
not on the special council meeting. There's nothing on the agenda here, Gene.
Okay.
Grab him.
Gene?
Second, that, some.
Okay. Resolve the next council, I did that one. Resolve that we now adjourn at 15:15. All in favor? Carried. We just had a special council meeting, and we discussed where we are, what we've been doing. Myself and John, we've talked to Lise Bourgeois. We have a meeting scheduled with Patty Hydew this week. I've talked to the Minister of Natural Resources, Graydon Smith. We're gonna have a meeting with him in Toronto. Our CAO, John Hall's been in contact with the Employment and Immigration Minister. We're trying to set something up for a meeting down there and show our members of Parliament just how much of an impact shutting Terrace Bay down would have to not only the North Shore, but Thunder Bay and the area.